Hi, my name is Chantel S. I am a spiritual guide. And Barbara and I were talking not that long ago about how we're each on this spiritual journey. And it's meaningful to us. And Barbara asked me if I would be willing to share a video about what is spiritual direction, or what I call spiritual guidance, for her YouTube channel. So what is spiritual direction, or what is spiritual guidance? Some people also call it spiritual companioning. And recently Barbara shared a video about listening to your inner voice. And so I'm going to approach it from that perspective. Spiritual direction or spiritual guidance is when you listen, you hear that inner voice, and you want to explore it more. And so when you make space to meet with a director or guide or companion to tell that story and explore it a little bit, what does it mean to you? That's really what happens in spiritual direction. In our religious traditions, we are taught about our beliefs, about our faith, and then we learn about the stories of people who have lived that experience. We gather together to affirm one another in our beliefs and worship together, possibly. In spiritual direction, we're actually looking at what is that experience for me in my lived daily life. So it really can be a complement to a religious practice. And I would say, even if you aren't practicing a religion, it really is a place to explore that sacred presence within. We can call that the sacred, the divine, or Holy Spirit. But when you begin to listen to that inner voice and then tell your story for someone to witness, that really is spiritual direction. And spiritual directors are trained to be deep listeners and to set our own perspectives aside so that you can bring whatever is yours to the session. We hold that space for you to discover your inner wisdom, or how Holy Spirit is tugging at you. And the more you practice this, the better you get at understanding what that inner voice is saying to you. And that sacred presence begins to guide you. And that awareness comes more and more as you meet with your guide or director. I encourage people to meet with me once a month for an hour each time. But really, it's your spiritual journey. So however you need to come, that's okay. In the spiritual direction session, everything belongs. I think sometimes we think we can't bring what we term as bad because it doesn't feel like it's good. It doesn't feel like it is appropriate. But really, those are also things that guide us to our inner wisdom. So I also want to mention that spiritual direction, spiritual guidance does not replace therapy or counseling. Therapy and counseling are when you're looking for answers, when you need a solution to a concern. That's the right time to see a counselor or a therapist. Spiritual direction is, there are no answers. It's open-ended. It is the discovery of the inner wisdom that Holy Spirit has planted there, or tapping into your sacred inner presence. If you are interested in spiritual direction, there is an organization called Spiritual Directors International, and they have a website where you can try to find they have a tool there actually where you can try to find a director or guide in your area. So that website is sdicompanions.org. Again, it's Spiritual Directors International, sdicompanions.org. And if you wanted to check out my website, I have more information there about my spiritual guidance practice, and that is innerpresence.weebly.com. Thank you for taking the time to listen and learn a little bit more about spiritual direction or spiritual guidance. And thank you, Barbara, for offering this space so that we can learn a little bit about that. Thank you.